One morning, every digital bank account and financial wallet on Earth synchronized. Every balance updated to the exact same upper-middle-class sum. The financial starting line reached a state of perfect alignment. In an instant, a billionaire and a part-time delivery driver held identical net worths. Global markets froze as millions of people realized their debt had vanished and their needs were covered. The following 24 hours were marked by widespread celebration across every time zone. For the first time, the baseline of human survival was universally guaranteed. No one had to trade their time just to afford a meal or a place to sleep. The honeymoon ended on Tuesday morning, when the systemic gears of the world ground to a halt. Millions of people simply didn't show up for work. Midnight sanitation shifts, dangerous factory roles, and underpaid service jobs went unfilled as the threat of poverty vanished. This revealed a core truth about our previous economy. For centuries, money functioned as a mechanism to compel humans into performing labor they would otherwise avoid. Without the leverage of starvation or eviction, the traditional logistics of the modern city can no longer function. To prevent a total collapse of the power grid and sanitation systems, the global infrastructure required a total reorganization. Engineers rushed to deploy AI automation and robotic systems. Tasks once performed by low-wage workers were handed over to machines, ensuring essential services remained active. However, robots couldn't cover every role. For essential work requiring human judgment, hours were cut to 4-hour weekly rotations to make the jobs more appealing. Organizations also introduced social privilege compensation. Since money was no longer a motivator, they offered exclusive lifestyle perks and access to specialized facilities to attract the necessary staff. Labor could no longer be demanded from the desperate. Every task now required a genuine negotiation and high-level technological support. Even with universal wealth, the physical world remained finite. If every person has $1 million, the buying power of $1 million becomes the new zero. While the supply of beach houses remains a flat horizontal line, the demand curve rises sharply. Everyone can meet the asking price. Money loses its power to resolve competition. The person with the most cash no longer gets the keys. New systems emerged. Highly coveted items were distributed through randomized lotteries or sequential waiting lists. Eventually, social contribution points became the primary way to move forward, earned by performing community service or contributing to public research. Wealth equalization neutralized the brute force of the dollar. It forced humanity to develop a merit-based system to decide who gets access to the world's limited space. Many critics predicted that once survival was guaranteed, the population would sink into a state of permanent idleness, but the need for social standing remained. People still wanted to be admired and respected, and since they couldn't buy that status, they had to earn it through action. This redirected billions of hours of human energy. Within a year, open-source software, creating massive public community murals, and sharing new scientific papers increased fourfold as people competed for reputation. Individuals still worked hard, but their efforts were directed toward building a legacy and gaining recognition from their peers. Human ambition adapted to the new environment. With the fear of rent removed, people focused on projects that offered long-term intellectual or social value. As luxury goods became common, their ability to signal status faded into the background. A high-end sports car or a designer suit no longer indicated rank in society. When everyone can afford the same things, those things become invisible. Instead, the world valued traits that couldn't be transferred or inherited. Intelligence, physical fitness, charisma, and creative mastery became the new markers of success. The focus of the global population shifted from material accumulation to personal development. The time once spent working for a paycheck was now spent practicing skills. When money could no longer tell us who was at the top, we had to rely on the qualities cultivated within ourselves.